Hey guys, welcome to TechWhipped. In this video, I'm going to be speaking about MoSCoW Prioritization Framework for product managers. It's also known as MoSCoW Method. It is a popular prioritization technique that's used by product managers and tech team for managing and building product requirements. The MSCNW in MoSCoW stand for 4 major actions a product manager can take while building a product or a feature. These 4 actions are M, must have, S, should have, C, could have, and W, won't have. So let's get started. Before we jump into how the framework works and what each of the initiatives or actions mean, quickly understand what happens before this framework is applied. First, you as a product manager and your team need to align on an objective and a bunch of prioritization factors. Your team also needs to decide how much resources will be allocated for each of these categories. Now, in an ideal world, the must-have category should have most number of resources, while the could-have category should have least number of resources. With that in mind, let's move on to each of the components of the MoSCoW framework. Let's start by must have. So like the name suggests, these are items or features that your product cannot simply work. For example, certain security gaps, core value proposition of the product. For example, as an e-commerce platform, if you don't allow the user to purchase a product online, you're not an e-commerce platform. So basically must-haves are a set of features or products that your product cannot exist without. While these are to be mandatorily a part of the product, you have some independence with respect to looking out faster ways of solving these problems. For example, partnering with a third-party vendor for security and compliance. The goal is to have this aspect in place, one of the first items to be in the product. Moving on to should have initiatives. Basically, these initiatives are essential for the product, but they are not critical. For example, allowing a user to buy a product online in an e-commerce platform is a must-have, but having a recommendation system is a should-have. It will still continue to solve the problem that it promises. Essentially, should have initiatives may or may not be a part of the minimum viable product or the MVP and can be released in the next cycle. Let's move on to could have initiatives. So these are a step below the should have initiatives. They don't have a great impact on the product experience, but they are nice to have sort of features. Example, changing the color of delivery timer on an e-commerce delivery app. While it may lead to a better user experience, it may not result in a direct revenue for the product. Could have initiatives may be a part of the third phase of the product. Usually these features are not picked up till the very end in a year-long development sprint. Finally, won't have initiatives. So in my opinion, initiatives are more important than both could have and should have, because knowing what not to build is effectively saving your development team a lot of time. So maybe these initiatives may not be important today, and we won't want to build them today. MoSCoW Prioritization Framework. How do you use these 4 components? So basically there are 3 factors that you should look at when you're looking to score features and sub-features. So the first one is company vision. So knowing the direction in which the company is heading, this feature makes sense for our product. Looking at the skill sets that your team has. So maybe if you have a machine learning team, you may want to pick up features like recommendation. But if you do not have a machine learning team, you may want to deprioritize this. Then finally, looking at your own budgets. Are you working on a tight budget? Will a certain feature take a lot of education in order to improve adoption? Do you have that amount of marketing spend? Do you have that amount of budget to hire more tech people? These are some of the examples. Now that you know all 3 major factors, start scoring every feature and sub-feature based on each of these, and then derive a final score basis which you can then decide the must-haves, could have, should have. Now there are 3 major drawbacks of MoSCoW Prioritization Framework. Number 1, it can lead to inconsistent scoring and hence results in wrong items being prioritized. So how do you avoid this? What you would want to do is rate each of the factors, budget, vision, and skill set, assign a certain weight to each of these, and based on that weightage, then derive a final score. The second problem is disagreement between stakeholders. So if I'm from a technical, a certain item will take longer, I'm obviously going to be a little biased in that direction. Goal here of a PM and then bring everyone on the same page. And the third drawback, new stakeholder comes in. The way they look at this framework may be different from the product manager who worked on this before, which can again lead to reprioritization and delayed shipping of features. These are 3 simple drawbacks and they are easy to avoid. And this is pretty much going to be it. And I hope you can start using this framework as a product manager. I hope this was helpful. If you like this video, consider subscribing to the channel. Also checking out other product management videos. Like this video, share it across with a friend. I'll see you in the next one.